Hello Aquarius, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me again. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the reading. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. It is a general reading, so aspects of it may apply to you, or they could apply to somebody else that you're close to at this time. If you want to cross-watch to my other videos for more information, then please do so. It may apply to you if you are looking at a particular aspect which tends to affect you. So that can be your ascendant or your rising sign, or it can be where your moon is located, or your Venus, and so on. It is a general reading, as I said, and all of them are, so I try to cover as much detail as possible to give you information, well-rounded information. I have already shuffled and laid out the cards. I use the 12 houses of the zodiac, so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear at this time. Bottom of the deck, overall, Venus love. So I feel that looking at your chart, for some of you, you may have somebody important coming into your life, and this is indicated by this card. It's indicated by your first house and your seventh house as well. So for some of you, this may be appropriate, where you have somebody coming in who is going to activate this for you. If it's not, then it really is about just general appreciation of beauty in all its forms, whether this is art or fashion, or the arts in general. It could be open air concerts, galleries, any kind of artistic endeavor, whether it's you doing it or other people are doing it. It's the appreciation of beauty in all its forms. It's also about the striving for charm, exhibiting charm, expressing charm, and also refinement. That all comes in under the Venus card. It could, as I say, be romantic in nature, what is coming into you, or what is coloring your chart this month. But also with this card comes in various aspects to do with mediation, negotiation, and so on. That may come in as well. Applying your charm and the better side of your nature to oversee any issues. It's also about fairness as well, and it can also be about just an appreciation of life in general, appreciation of home comforts, luxuries, and so on, bringing that more into your life. Self-care, and also the nurturing and the care of others, the love of self and the love of others. So all of those aspects can come in with this card. Then in the first house we have Gemini, I think. So this card coming in the first house is everything. First house is everything to do with the self, your physical self, your physical body, your vitality, your life force. It's also your appearance. How you appear to others, what you're projecting outward to them at this time, and it's also your characteristics and your personality, and just what you're exhibiting right now. It's also your self-oriented interests that's covered by the first house, and your own personal independence, how you are making your way in the world, what is happening in your life, how you're actually meeting the world, and the face that you meet it with. That is your first house, and that is yourself. So with this card, this is all about communication of all kinds. So for a lot of you, this is going to be very important no matter what is going on in your chart. So it's about communicating. It's about being quick thinking, quick reaction as well. Also enjoying interesting activities, because boredom could be high with this card. So interesting, curious activities, learning, exchange of ideas, researching, also using your, being versatile and adaptable to all kinds of circumstances going on. So whatever is going on in your life, whatever is happening in your life at this time, it's about meeting that with, an open mind, but being quick about what you want to do, quick-witted, quick thinking, quick on your feet, communicating, and being versatile. It can also be about paying attention to what is going on around you at this time as well. That could be very important. It can also be that, some explanation is required from you in something. Or you could be talking yourself into or out of a tricky situation. That can come in with Gemini as well. It could also be that you're hearing gossip, or you're involved in gossip, or you're being talked about right now. That can happen as well. With the Gemini card, technology, electronics may be coming in, so you may be upgrading in some way. Perhaps you're getting a new camera, or you're getting a new laptop or a phone, or either one of these are going to be important, in how you're going to move yourself forward right now. Or you could just be learning a new system of some sort. Publishing, writing, any of those also come in with this card. You could also be multitasking. There could be lots of things going on around you at this time. As I said, if it is a relationship that's coming into your life, and that's being evidenced here as well, then this is the Lover's card of the zodiac. It represents that, the twins. So it could be that something like that is coming in for you, and this is going to activate a few other things in your chart. So just be aware of that. That might be an option for some of you. It is also, with this card, when it comes to yourself and how you're presenting yourself at this time, just be aware that too much talk, too much chit-chat, any of those sorts of things can make you come across as a bit glib, or a bit fickle, or two-faced. Or you could come across as a bit argumentative with too many words and too much going on. Just a lot of chatting and talking, and it really is also, as I said, a time to pay attention to what is going on, and just watch your words, what you're saying, and what is going on from that point of view. Second house is the house of income. So this is what your money that's coming in for you, however you earn it. It's also the house of self-worth and the house of values, your value systems. So what you value in yourself, what you value in others, and in your possessions and your ownership. It all falls under the second house. Also real estate, property, land, anything to do with that. So now with Pisces, I believe you may just have been through a bit of a rough patch, or some sort of patch where you've required a lot of adjustment and so on. And this card comes in just to remind you to have belief, have faith, and have trust. You may also just need to surrender to what is going on right at this time. That's one aspect of this card. The other aspect is also to make sure that you think clearly at this time. Be clear about your intentions and your actions at this time, because Pisces can sometimes be the sign of self-undoing or self-sabotage. So you could be putting blocks into in your own way, if you know what I mean. Or you could be saying or doing something which undoes a lot of hard work that you've already put in place. So just be aware of that. Or it could be that you are, seeing this in somebody else's life that's related to you. And it's making you ponder your own self-worth and your own values and so on. It could also be that with the Pisces card coming in, it's a very the card it's ruled by Neptune, so that engenders a lot of connection with the divine, with source. Your dream life may be very strong. You could also be enjoying a few illusions and fantasies at this time. So that is why I say be careful with your finances in particular, or with your self-worth, that you're not falling under some kind of illusion or sort of fantasy. You need to keep your feet on the ground and set good boundaries at this time. Otherwise, you could find yourself getting a little bit confused about what needs to be done in this house. And you need to stay on track with this. You need to stay on track and finish what you start, and don't fall by the wayside, losing track of what it is you need to do or what your objectives are. So be very clear thinking and in your intentions and your actions at this time. In the third house, this is your house of communication. It's the house of your verbal, written, anything to do with words, any form of communication, can be online as well. It can also be your body language. It's also the house of contracts and documents. And I feel that's going to be very important with this Virgo card. It's also the house of short trips, local journeys. So with Virgo, I analyze coming in. It really is, could be that there's a bit of chaos or turmoil going on in this house, and you need to bring order into what is going on. So it's a very detail-oriented card. It's service-oriented. You need to be precise about what you're doing, and you may also be weighing up what is and what is not working for you in this house. So it's your form of communication, it's your self-expression, and everything to do with documents and written things and contracts. So you may also just need to deal with issues, to actually face them and deal with them, sort problems out, because they won't go away. You need to really be precise about what you're doing now. This is also the ultimate declutter card. So declutter. And I feel that could be to do with paperwork, contracts, any kind of documentation that you deal with. Declutter, get yourself organized. Use the Virgo energy to do that for you, because that's going to be important. It's also about, what you say in your words and how you're communicating with others as well. There could be a bit of an emotional declutter which is required. But always with this card, aim to be to come across as reliable. You need to be seen as reliable at this time. And that is, as I say, falling in your communication house. So you need to walk your talk as well. It's about being conscientious, helpful, and constructive at this time. That's going to be very important for you. If you're asked to give advice or to talk to others or be involved perhaps in helping others, it's useful advice, useful communication that is required, constructive advice. Just appear, you must be seen as conscientious and reliable at this time. Avoid slipping into criticism, whether that's of yourself or others. Avoid criticism, nitpicking, and worrying about things as well, because that all is embodied in the Virgo energy. In the fourth house, we have Grand Cross Provoker. Fourth house is the house of your home and your family. So this is your physical home. It's where you're currently residing. It's also the atmosphere in the home or the people in your home. It's also your relationship with your family history, your foundation, your roots, your ancestry, your ethnic identity. It's where you've come from. It's your relationship with that whole family aspect. So with Grand Cross Provoker, something is going on in this house which is causing quite a bit of pressure, stress, possibly even difficulty. You could be feeling like you're spread a bit thin at the moment. There could be quite a lot of frustration because you have 4 hard angles all bearing down. There's going to be quite a lot of pressure at this time. But this pressure is designed to be a catalyst for movement or for change. So something needs to change in this house. And if you use this energy wisely, it can lead to you actually developing a lot of inner strength and stamina. So it's about using all your skills at this time. You may feel like you're juggling and you're not really making much progress, but you've got a lot going on and you're juggling. But it really is about being disciplined at this time. You're going to need to prioritize what you're doing. Time management is important, and also endurance to stick through things through thick and thin. Eventually, once this period is over, you will need to, sort of a renewal and success. But it's that phase that you go through, the work and the juggling and the prioritizing that's important at this time. So, as I said, this could be to do with your actual home life. Perhaps you're changing your home life or you're doing something in your home. And there's just a lot going on that has to be dealt with. Perhaps you're dealing with all different workers and aspects of the home. Perhaps you're building a home. But it could also be to do with perhaps you're having a dual situation where there's family pressure about something and also to do with your home or the people in your home. So there's a lot going on. You're just going to be juggling a lot of things, but you need to prioritize what's important and then manage your time. In the fifth house, we have Aquarius. I know fifth house is the house of children, whether that's your children or other people's children you're associated with now. It's also the house of your creativity. So this is your originality, your individuality, your stamp, your brand, however you want to look at it. It could be a creative project you're involved in, but it really is, all of us use our creativity every day in every way. But it can also be artistic abilities. Not everybody's artistic, but if you are, it covers that as well. It's also the house of recreational activities, everything fun, outgoing, outdoors, anything pleasurable, enjoyable for you, all recreational activities. It's also the house of love affairs and what goes on in that. It's also the house of risk-taking activities. So this can be gambling, and it can be things to do with the stock exchange, stock market, and so on. So with this card coming in, this is indicating that you could be having glimpses of what could be the future. And this could be to do with your children as well. But you're getting sort of a look into the future or a glimpse of what could be. It's also could be a deep insight or a realization about something. It could also be that you're able to see trends and currents going on. So this could be trends in your activities or trends to do with what your children are involved with. Or it could be a creative project that you're busy with. So it's tracking that, tracking the trends and currents of society and what is popular and what isn't. You could be, if you've got a project or something that you're trying to get off the ground, you could have support of friends and alliances at this time. They're going to be a powerful help for you. Also with this card, always technology, science fiction comes in. So you could be upgrading something, some technical aspect that you're using in this house. It could even be a camera, it could be a phone, your laptop, or technology that you're using to create something, or your children may be involved with this, but it's got that science aspect to it, and technology is always important, but it's usually quite, it's going to be an upgrade. It's more advanced than what you have been, or it could be super advanced. This card also brings in reasoning abilities. It's almost unemotional, not getting involved in the nitty-gritty. This is seeing things from a loftier perspective, so that comes in as well. It could also be that networking is important in this house for you at this time. So this could be to do with perhaps it's a project you're involved in, or it's to do with your children, but networking and making contacts and getting involved in group activities may be important. It also could be that you are getting exposure to exotic, unusual, unconventional, or foreign people. So this could be a trip that you're involved in, or you're interacting with people that are very different from you in some way. So if you're traveling, then that is very much the case, but it's very exotic, very unusual, unconventional, or foreign. Anything to do with that comes in under the Aquarius card. So you could be interacting with this, you could be visiting places like this. It's all, as I said, this house covers all kinds of activities, recreational activities. So if it's a holiday for you, very much you're going to be learning and enjoying and seeing things that are very different from your way of life, and really getting a lot out of that, and that could be very stimulating and enjoyable. And therefore, if you're upgrading your technology, it could be a new camera that you're getting, or you're going to be downloading what you're seeing and taking images of. It's all to do with that. It could also be that in this house you're feeling tested in some way, or it could be your children that are being tested right now. There could be some challenges going on, and you're just going to need to apply a rational or reasoning mindset to work your way through it. So mixed bag for this house. Then in the 6th house, we have Grand Trine Blessings. 6th house is the house of work, workplace, work colleagues. It's also the house of your mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. It's also the house of health and diet and your lifestyle, and the house of pets. So with Grand Trine Blessings coming in, this is a nice aspect to be having in this house. It's going to bring an easier flow. So you may have been through a difficult period, and this is going to make things flow a bit easier. You could be experiencing a breakthrough of some kind as well. It will feel like luck, but possibly it's come from something that you've earned, work that you've already put in, but a breakthrough coming into you. It could also indicate harmony, so harmony in your workplace or with your lifestyle, so enjoying a more harmonious period. It could also be completion. This card does bring in a feeling of completion, so possibly you're completing a project or you're completing something that you have been busy with for some time, or perhaps it's been a diet that you've been on or some kind of lifestyle change, and now you really are enjoying the benefits of what it is that you have been working on for so long. It could also be that you are receiving blessings and opportunities at this time, and you receiving these blessings and opportunities is going to feel wonderful, but you still need to work to anchor them. You still need to secure those blessings and opportunities for yourself. So there's a lot of potential, but you have to work at it. So you're still going to need to apply effort. Sometimes with this card, it can bring in feelings of like complacency or avoidance, or just letting things flow without actually exerting too much effort. But in order to harness the blessings, you do need to exert that effort. You do need to work to secure those blessings for yourself. This card is also about good timing. So you could be right place, right time. It's also about being well received right now. So you could be wanting to ask for a loan or a raise or for finance for something. And you will be well received in that regard. It could also be that your path is clearing right now. So if you've had obstacles and difficulties, either a new path or some kind of arrangement has been made where those blocks have been removed. So you're going to have less resistance. All artistic activities are highly indicated with this. So you may be enjoying that, or maybe you're using that and you're now going to be making that your work or your craft. But all artistic activities are blessed with this card. As I said, just avoid complacency or coasting, or taking the easy way out on things. That can come in with this card because it's a very harmonious, very easy aspect. It brings a lot of almost like contentment and grace just about. So it could be that you don't really feel like working. So it's all play and no work, or you're taking the easy way out in some way. As I said, you still need to work to anchor those blessings. It's not going to just drop in your lap. The potential is there, the opportunity is there, but you need to bring it in. From a health and diet and well-being point of view or lifestyle, as I said, just inertia or escapism may come in. So if you know there are certain things that you need to do to look after yourself, whether it's diet related or perhaps a fitness regime or perhaps walking every other day, something like that, something to build up your body, to help your body, then you still need to do it. Anything that you're just not dealing with or you feel you can't deal with, you still need to work at those things to keep yourself healthy and whole. In the 7th house, we have Scorpio, I transform. 7th house is your house of relationships. So this is close, personal, one-on-one relationships. It's also, it can be love or it can be a business partnership, and it can be another relationship which you're involved with right now. So with Scorpio, I transform. That's exactly what it's about. It's quite a heavy energy, this. There's a lot of introspection which is required with this. So if you have met somebody, if somebody is coming into your life that is bringing this Venus love aspect into your life, and by the looks of it is a very important partner coming in for you, then it's going to affect your 7th house. So this person could be hard to read, or they are triggering you in such a way that it's creating a lot of self-analysis. So understanding of your deeper desires, your deeper motivations, and it's a very transformative relationship that you're going to be in. Sexuality is important, and the deeper meaning to do with that. It could also be that you are in an existing relationship and this is going to be experiencing some sort of renewal or regeneration, but there's self-analysis required first. Okay, so this is a deep analysis of yourself and what it is that you want from this relationship, what it is that you need to move forward. It's a very deep aspect to be busy with. Also, you may find that in this house, depending on what it is, if it could be a love partnership, as I said, or a business partnership, but money matters are going to be important. Taxes, property, be very careful with all of that, because the potential for losses and gains with this, so losing and winning, is in equal measure. Also be careful of controlling or manipulative behavior, which can sometimes come in with Scorpio. So all of these things may come in some way, shape or form in the 7th house. In the 8th house, which does continue on from the 7th, this is the deeper commitment between you and your partner, whether it's a love or a business partnership. The deeper commitment between you, it's the nuts and bolts of how you're going to merge. So it's the emotional and material resources and how those are going to knit together. It's also the house of sexuality, and it's also the house of finance. So this is bigger finance. This is like investments, insurances, taxes, banking, accounting, also inheritances and legacies, because the 8th house also does deal with death and the passing away or the inheritances to do with that. But it can also be, most of the time, it's normally a symbolic death. So something could be passing away, something old is falling away to make way for the new. And I feel that is what this is really about. It's also the house of other people's resources, all right? So this is where the inheritances and dealing with a partnership comes in as well. So with this house, you may just find that with the fire element desire coming in, again, it's about understanding yourself and what you want from this relationship. It's also it's kind of swift changes coming in, because it's a fiery aspect. Swift changes coming in. It could be a change of direction, or it could be simply courage coming in for you to go after what it is you want. So you're going to be feeling fired up. You're going to get that energy and that drive to go and achieve what it is you want in this house. You could be clearing the landscape to plant new things, and that could be literally, blitzing the landscape, absolutely firing it down to nothing so that you can plant new things. It does indicate a fresh start of some kind. The best way to handle this is to use measured action, because you don't want to be taking rash action which you regret later, or quick temper, or getting into argumentative or aggravating circumstances. This is measured action. Know what it is you want, plot your course and go for it. It also is honesty, being honest, putting your cards on the table. You may have to get up front with somebody about things, or you just may need to really be clear and honest about how you feel or what you want to do. Cards on the table. Because of this, it's got a fresh energy, a new start, a new perspective may come in for you as well. So it could be a wake-up call or an epiphany coming to you at this time. You could also be facing a bit of competition in this house about something. Or there's an ego issue to be dealt with, either yours or somebody else's. So all of these things may come in the 8th house, but it really is a progress card. It's about taking action, but it's the way you go about it and your attitude to it that's going to determine how this thing plays out. But you really have the opportunity now to make a fresh start, take this wake-up call and really put it to good use in your life. In the 9th house, we have Yod Destiny. So 9th house is it's the house of all things international as well. It's also the house of adventure and exploration, whether that's in the mind or whether it's physical adventure and exploration. It's also the house of higher learning, education, as in university education, adult education, and all concepts around philosophy, religion, belief systems, and the law, and the higher courts. All of that comes in. So you could be learning about that, or you could be, it's part of your profession, or it's involved in what you're doing in some way. It's also the house of the search for meaning and purpose. It's the house of teaching and publishing and recreational, sort of promotional work, or public relations in some way. It's also the house of intuition. So how you apply these intuitive processes in your life, the seeking of truth. And it's also the house of your relationship with your in-laws. So with your destiny going on here, it is a destiny card. So whatever is going on, whatever you're undertaking in this house, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be happening for you. You just need to trust in the universe that everything is going to work out and it will all come right, whatever is going down. It could be that you're having a bit of stress and tension because it's a very sharp, hard angle down to a very precise point here, but it's purposeful in that to have that pressure on you because it brings about purpose. It's bringing about something which is relevant to your life purpose, and to how you are, going to be moving forward. It's relevant to what you're doing. So it could be, it could be something to do with working on your own or finding your own path, doing things in your own way. And this is very necessary because then you find your own truth about what is working for you, what isn't working for you, what is going to be your best path forward. And you may feel that you're completely alone in that. You're not going to have support and advice from others, and it's not actually needed. So don't worry about what other people are thinking or saying or doing. You just make sure that you're following your own inner guidance. This is about following your own inner guidance and your own inner processes, tapping into that. It's almost like your inner GPS. That's what you've got to be doing with this. You may be required to make a few sacrifices to reach your goal. You need to make adjustments as you go along. So whether that's time sacrifice or some other kind of financial sacrifice, whatever it is, you're going to really need to apply yourself in this endeavor, whatever it is you're trying to do in the 9th house. You could just be feeling out of step from others. So others are doing certain things and you're off on your own path doing what you want to do or in your own way. You may be working on your alone or working in privacy at this time. This card is also very much about divine timing. That's why I say trust in the universe that everything's going to work out. So divine timing may be very important for you. And this is kind of where your intuition and seeking the truth comes in. You've got to just keep going, heading towards your goal, knowing that divine timing is at work. It could also be that you're having a few lessons in humility with this, and you could also be getting a deeper awareness about certain things in the 9th house. So it's quite a serious card, but have trust and faith in the universe that it will deliver for you. There is success at the end of this, once you get to the end of that path. In the 10th house, we have Sun Spirit. So a beautiful card to be having in this house. 10th house is the house of career, fame, reputation. It's also the house of your public status. It's the house of authority figures, whether this is in your life personally, or it could be somebody that you look up to, or it could be a mentor at work, or it could be somebody you look up to in general. It can also be an authoritative institution. So this is like government or military or the police or the legal, some sort of legal institution. Any kind of authority comes in with the 10th house. So with Sun Spirit, this is going to bring in a lot of encouragement in this house. So improvement across the board. It's about being confident, charismatic. Your vitality will be strong. It's about positivity. It's a get things done card as well. So you're going to have the power and the strength to get things done. You could be very influential at this time, or inspirational even. You may need to take a leadership role. In fact, it's more than likely you will have to take a leadership role. And so use that leadership wisely. Be influential, be inspirational in the right way. You're probably going to be in the spotlight for some reason. Something may trigger that. Or it could just be that you're stepping into the spotlight with the leadership role. But you need to be organized and you need to be mature about how you handle this to make the best of your time in the sun. So make the best of your time in the sun by being organized, by being mature, and use your influence and your power wisely. Then in the 11th house, we have Saturn return age. 11th house is the house of friendships. It's also the house of your contacts and your networks and everything to do with that. It's also the house of your personal hopes and dreams, your wishes, your hobbies and your interests, and also all group dynamics, any kind of group activity that you may be involved in. So you could be, like an association or a society or a club. Or you could be in a group of companies, but it's almost like the group consciousness. It also rules global consciousness, global affairs, trends, currents. 11th house also rules sort of social reform and social causes, which may be important for you. So with the Saturn return age, this is coming around again. It's got that energy about it. Usually in real time, Saturn return is every 29 years. So depending on where you are in your life, but normally the Saturn return is the maturer. It's the first time happens at 29, the second time at about 58. So depending on where you are in your life, but it's got a very strong energy. It's got a karmic energy attached to it. It's also got it's the Lord of Karma and the Lord of Time. So it's kind of got that looking back feeling to it. So looking back and seeing perhaps missed chances, or feeling that it's too late to be doing something that you should have done, could have done, or would have done. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, things from the past. Perhaps it's also about something that you always wanted to do in your life and you never got around to do it, or you never got the opportunity to do it, or you just simply didn't choose to do it. And you're now looking back and thinking to yourself, I should have done that, or I could have done that, or is it too late now to go after that, whatever it is. It could also be that you're having a loss of some kind and you're now looking at this as if to say, I should have handled that much better than I did. But it's applying the wisdom and the understanding from the past. So it's like hindsight. So you can only move forward. You can't live in the past. It's done and dusted. So what are you going to do now? That's really what this card is about. It's taking a very long, hard look at everything, a very realistic look at everything, to see what it is now that you can do for yourself. So be responsible for your own dreams, your own goals. It's about becoming your authentic self. So it's kind of a correction, course correction. There's a release and redirect energy to this. So what has gone down in the past, look at it, get the wisdom and the understanding out of it, and then change your course now. Change your direction, set new goals, release and redirect, correct your course. Be responsible for what it is you want to do now. So set new goals, create new goals. And when you do that, when you allow yourself that opportunity, you give yourself the clarity and the freedom to choose what you need to do now. And there's a lot of freedom in that. Once you decide that, yes, I should have done this, so I'm going to do it now, whatever it may be. So it is, you need to assess what is working for you as well. This does also have a realistic look at it about what has stood the test of time. So this could be to do with friendships, or could be to do with a hope or a dream that you have, or a hobby or an interest. What has stood the test of time for you and what hasn't? What has fallen away? Some things will fall away. Some things need to fall away to create new space for other things that you need to do. So you could be going through a cycle of change where friendships are changing, your dreams are changing, your hobbies and interests are changing, or you just need to simply let go of things that are no longer serving you anymore. So what is working for you, what isn't? It's not a quick fix, this slow progress, but it's about setting in stone now what it is you want to do. You're setting very strong foundations for achievement later or for success later. Applying your wisdom, applying your maturity to whatever needs to be done. Then in the 12th house, we have part of fortune increase, another lovely card. So 12th house is the house of your unconscious. So this is rules about 90% of our lives. It's all your hidden motivations, your drives, your complexities, your fears, all the deep down stuff. It's also where you go when you need to retreat or withdraw. The 12th house is about that. It's the house of your spiritual life, and your meditation, your mysticism, and healing, everything to do with that. It's also, you may be involved in a healing profession of some kind, because this is the house of service to others as well. It's also the house of escapism and just copping out of things, and it's the house of addictions. And it can also be about karmic lessons that may be coming to you at this time. It can also be about the meeting of twin flames. The 12th house is often where you meet your twin flame. It's also the house of your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So whether that's a hospital or a university or a library or a government institution, any kind of place like that where you are going and you're busy with something there, your experiences there, what goes down there. So with part of fortune increase, I feel that this is more to do with your accessing hidden skills or abilities that you have. So when I say hidden, you may have known about them, but you just didn't choose to focus on that in this life. And now is the time. It could be that there's some sort of karmic trigger which actually causes the waters to stir, and these skills and abilities which you were born with are starting to come out now. Or it could just be that you're deciding now to harness them, which is what we were talking about earlier. So there's a lot of potential with this card. So what you have to do is you have to ask yourself, what aspects of yourself or what aspects of the 12th house have you not been focusing on in some way? What aspect of it? Something has been overlooked or underutilized in this house. So it's the deeper self and all the other aspects of the 12th house. It could even be your spiritual life or your ability to meditate, or healing abilities, or perhaps retreats and withdrawal. Perhaps you want to do yoga retreats now as part of something which is more your calling. Or it could be that you're involved in healing others in some way. Or perhaps you're involved with people who are involved with addictions, or there's lots of ways that this can come in. So it's really, there's a potential for discovery here, inner discovery, and harnessing potentials that perhaps you haven't looked at before, or you were aware of but never chose to follow up on. There's good fortune coming in with this, and opportunity. So whatever comes out, whatever comes to the surface, you may be needing to learn more about that skill or that ability or whatever it is that's been underutilized. So learn more about it to harness it, monetize it, make it work for you. It could also be, that you eventually you will succeed in whatever it is that you're tackling in the 12th house. You will succeed at it. This does help you with that. You could be overcoming anxiety or fear, anxieties and fears that you've had. You could be resolving conflicts with this card, but it's all about moving ahead and achievement and using your full potential at this time. Okay, Aquarius, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe, and take care, and I will see you next time.